go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture Show. We got Dusty and Brian full boat today, and call-ins later on.
That music gets me going. I don't know. I just start like bouncing around. I'm not a dancer. I have no hips. I'm a white guy with no rhythm. But I just like start jiving a little bit. And who says jiving?
None of us white people got moves.
White people say jiving.
Yeah, exactly. We could possibly have some special guests on tonight. We're kind of waiting on scheduling stuff going on with that. We're going to talk about some coaches hiring. We got another snake draft today, which is going to be a fun one. We're going to do athletes, former and current professional athletes and or announcers that you would like to have a beer with. So that'll be a fun one. What else do we have on the docket today, guys?
Terps. We got some baseball stuff, a couple NFL things, but yeah, mostly I want to start it off with the Terps. Unless Brian, you have anything you want to get off the top before we get going here?
I mean, obviously, Dusty, you're in Ocean City, but you're still Maryland-based. Brooks, you being out in Indy. Very odd time around here in Baltimore, D.C. area after the unfortunate incident last night. Holy moly!
Yeah.
How does that happen, man?
How does that occur?
I saw the video on Twitter, and it looks. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about the collision last night that happened around Reagan Airport.
Yeah, 60-person passenger jet, and then a military helicopter, which I believe I read was a Black Hawk doing a training mission at 9 p.m. So I think those are the main bones of the story.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw the video on Twitter. It's really far zoomed out. You can't really see exactly what's going on. I guess there's just some sort of miscommunication. They didn't know that the helicopter is going to be training, or that wasn't communicated properly. But either way, it's really, really scary to see this kind of stuff, especially so close to where we live.
Yeah, and I mean, they've said they announced that there's no survivors, and it's just a recovery mission at this point. So it just sucks.
Yeah,
it just sucks. This is interesting for any conspiracy theorists out there. Rogan's podcast has some whistleblower on it.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you're into that, go check out the Joe Rogan show. See what they're saying about that. But anyway, we're going to talk about sports because we are here to lighten the mood and not bring it down. But we did have to mention that at the top because it is close to our hearts. Let's talk about the Terps. Got a nice little win over Wisconsin last night. We don't talk about the Terps a whole ton on this podcast, but they've really been playing well over the last couple of weeks, and they deserve some shine. I watched pretty much the whole game. Derek Queen did not have his best game offensively, but I did text this out in the middle of the game. He is such a mismatch on the glass, getting rebounds, offensive, defensive, whatever. Him and Julian Reese down there. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of teams in the Big Ten that have the size we do that are going to be able to match up with those two big men when they're really going. Julian Reese actually had a really good game last night. He's kind of up and down. What did you guys see from the Terps last night? And have you been excited about the run they've been on recently?
I didn't think they played very well in the first half, which is saying a lot because they still went into halftime with a 1-point lead. I think it was 32-31. I mean, the second half, I thought they looked dominant, just purely dominant, not by the score, just how they really – I never felt like the game was out of control. Even when we went down, I think, at one point by a couple points, I still had complete faith that we were going to win this game. And like you said, that is a massive mismatch between Reese and Queen down there. And Queen had a really good defensive game, especially at the end when he came up with that one block, which could have got Wisconsin back within, I think, 3 or 4, and then we ended up getting the ball back. So I'm really, really happy with what's going on. And I mean, all the celebs were in the house. It was a gold rush night. You had Gary Williams in the house. Go figure. SVP was there. There were a couple other people that
RG3 was there.
Yeah, there were a couple.
Torrey Smith wanted to be there. I saw him tweeting about it. He was like gonna go, and he was like, "Damn it, I should have went."
What's the reasoning for all these guys showing up to this game? Is there some sort of fundraiser, or
it's the first game students are back in?
Okay,
Dusty, you're not coming through, buddy.
You're not coming through, buddy. But yeah, I thought they looked good. Brooks, did you get a chance to watch any of the game?
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was kind of sloppy for a while, and in terms of like Derek Queen just not taking it up strong, fading away from the basket a lot, which he tends to do from time to time. It seems like from watching him. I haven't watched every single game, but the few that I do. And when he is taking it up strong, he just absolutely dominates, man. And he can shoot, and he's got everything. It's just I don't know. It's really, I mean, you beat the numbers. I can't believe they weren't ranked yet, first of all. And then they have a sloppy game. I think I shouldn't say sloppy game. They had played a lot of that game, or a good chunk of that game was pretty sloppy before they kind of caught fire, and we still won pretty easily. So it's not, and like you said, Brian, it's nice that they're not playing their best ball right now, and they're still beating ranked teams. And we're up to 17 wins now, and our wins now are really good against IU, at IU, and we beat a 17th ranked Illinois as well at Illinois. And this is just the past week. So trending in the right direction. Defense looks pretty damn good too, which is going to be big. So, and I just think those big, like Dusty said, those big men down below are just athletic as shit. And I don't know if anybody can keep up with them.
And I'm still going to stick to this statement. In the 6 or 7 games I've watched, I still think the best game that I watched them play was the loss to Marquette earlier in the year.
Yeah, I think so too.
So,
yeah, I mean, 5 losses total. Am I sounding better, by the way?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. 5 losses in total, 3 of them to ranked opponents. Lost to Marquette by 4, lost to Washington on the road by 6, lost to Oregon, who was number 9 at the time, by 4 on the road, and lost to Northwestern by 2 on the road.
And could have won a lot of those.
Yeah, really.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
Lost to Purdue by 5 on the road. I mean, all of their losses are against pretty good teams on the road, and they're all by less than 5. The most points we've lost by was at Washington. That was a 6-point game. So if only 5 losses, keeping it close pretty much every game. Feels like we have the guard in Gillespie that is able to carry the weight. He didn't even really have that great a game last night and was still able to impact the game with some timely shots. The bank shot at the top of the key, with like 4 or 5 minutes left. Thank God that went in, because that place went into a frenzy after that. Mm-hmm. And once the Xfinity Center gets that loud, it's a really, really tough place to play. I went to every single game. I think I missed 1 game in the 4 years I went to Maryland, 1 home game, and it was against like LIU Brooklyn or something like that. We just couldn't go. Trust me, I've been in there for some big games, and it gets loud in there, and I can't imagine it's a very easy place to play for opposing sides, especially with all the size, like you guys said, we have inside, and the ability on the glass. What do we think about the job Willard's done in the last, especially the last couple of weeks? I know that Willard has been kind of up and down in his stretch at Maryland thus far, and he's got a lot of criticism. What do you guys think about the job he's done in the last couple of weeks, or just this season in general? Do you think this is more like he's finally getting his guys in there? He's finally starting to be able to run his stuff with his guys?
I don't have enough knowledge. I don't watch it enough, or read the blogs and stuff like that. But from what it looks like the guys love him. He's recruiting well. The ball, I say this all the time. The thing I hated the most about Turgeon was it was ISO ball. It was very, very, very limited offensive movement. Every time I watch the Terps now, there is so much more movement. Now, maybe that's because Mark Turgeon had none, and so any kind of movement is great. But I really just like the flow of the game.
Yeah,
when they're playing nice high-low ball. Pick and rolls, and then when you have the size of Reese and Queen, it's easy to run some pick and rolls from the top of the key.
Yeah, the criticism I don't get yet. I mean, he hasn't this is what, his third year now. His first year was good. There was a lot of leftovers from Turgeon's era. Last year was kind of a wash, I guess. Like we didn't have like a lot of people graduated. I don't think we had a ton of people come in. Juju didn't really play very well last year at all. But I feel like the knock on him, Dustin, maybe I'm wrong here, is that just like developing players. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, like Brian said, I do like the offense and I really like the defense. I'm glad that we're a whole lot more focused on defense like we used to be with Gary.
Yeah.
Shout out to our show name. But and we're a lot more aggressive in transition. We're not just like, all right, let's set it up. Let's run a weave at the top of the key and then ISO whoever gets it last. I mean, it's ridiculous. That was ridiculous, but I mean, it looks like I think people were shitting on Willard's recruiting last year, like why he has no pull to get people there from the region. But I mean, the guys that are there right now are super talented. Like even the guys that we haven't talked about, like Rodney Rice and
Miguel.
what's his Gapari, Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I've been super impressed with the games that I've watched this year about how athletic these guys are, and they're shooting a whole lot better than they were the last couple of years too.
Yeah. The only issue I have with the team, and maybe if they don't make a long run in the tournament, this is why. The depth is not quite there. Even last night, only 2 guys got real minutes off the bench. We had Harris Smith and Gapari get 19 and 17 minutes. Nobody else off the bench got more than 4 minutes in the game. So it's really just like a 6-7 man rotation that they're running, and that's fine. But those guys are going to get gassed.
They didn't play. They didn't play Geronimo at all last night, which I think he's kind of a little spark plug on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, he got 0 minutes last night. So
yeah,
maybe it's just a bad matchup for him, or maybe I don't know if the load management stuff has made its way to college basketball. I hope God. I hope not. But yeah, that is just one thing that jumped out to me. It was just like basically the starters played the whole game. Every starter played at least 30 minutes out of the 40. So it just feels like hopefully the lack of depth doesn't come back to bite us in the end.
Well, it's funny you bring up load management, Dusty, and I know we don't talk a lot of NBA on this podcast, and rightfully so. But I was watching DP St. Patrick's show yesterday, and Adam Silver was on, and I think now it's a headline on ESPN. How he talked about the concern of load management, and players not the star players not playing, and then the fans kind of revolting a little bit and going to games, even though attendance is still high. But he talked about he said the NBA is the only league in the world that has a 48-minute game. And he's thinking about proposing 10-minute quarters to make it universal to what they do in Europe and the other basketball leagues. I mean, a 40-minute game is what the women's college basketball plays, women's basketball plays.
What they play in the Olympics.
What they play in the Olympics. So it makes the game, and he said it'll narrow it to basically a 2-hour window. It's kind of like when you watch a soccer match, you're getting about 2 hours worth of content. The game plus the halftime, however long halftime is. So you'll know that how long you're getting a game. And of course, if it goes to overtime, it goes to overtime. But also this would allow players to, he said collectively, if you shorten it to 40 minutes a game throughout the duration of the season, the numbers reached, it's like having 14 less games, which means players can't be using the load management bullshit or have that phantom hamstring, sore hamstring.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a good idea. I still think the season's too long. I still think it should be closer to 70 games than 82. But I mean, any step is a step in the right direction, especially if they're trying to figure out some of this stuff. My That's a Shame is actually related to the load management stuff. So if you guys want to get into that now, we can, or we can wait. It's up to you.
Up to you, whatever. I mean, we kind of throw them out there like randomly throughout.
Yeah, I love that.
I forgot about that. Damn it.
My That's a Shame goes to Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid has been available for 846 games in his career, he's in the middle of his 11th season in the NBA. Guess how many of those 846 games that Joel Embiid has played in?
I know this answer.
Right?
I know this answer. He has played in 446 of those games.
That is correct.
He just missed his 400th game yesterday.
Just missed his 400th game yesterday. He has missed almost half of the games in his career. And to this day, he has made $266 million. This does not include the 3-year, $150+ million extension that he signed this offseason that takes him through the next 3 years. He's hardly played this year. He's a big man in a league where we have history of big men breaking down. And the Sixers signed him to an inexplicable 3-year extension max this offseason that makes no sense at all. He doesn't play. I just don't get it. It's a shame. Good for you for going to get your MVP and stealing it from Jokic. Jokic should have won 3 in a row. But this guy's never played in the finals. He doesn't play basketball consistently. There's no way he could be healthy enough to play for 4 straight rounds and win a playoff series or win 4 straight playoff series or win a title. I just don't get it. And obviously he doesn't understand his place in all of this. He's not very self-aware of it either because he keeps claiming in the media that he's the best and he should be. He rightly deserves all this praise. Just don't like the guy. And that's a shame. 400 career games missed and 846 is bad. And it's unlucky too.
I don't know if he's a bad person.
Yeah.
But he didn't win a lot of
too far on that.
He didn't win a lot of people over when he came out in the beginning of the season and said he's not going to play back-to-back games ever again in his career. You're a professional athlete and you're not traveling from city to city on a steam locomotive. All right, you're taking chartered flights. So come on. You got the best medical teams in sports history around these guys nowadays in all sports. Yeah. So I don't get it.
It's just like when these big guys start, and I listen to Bill Simmons a lot, and he talks about this all the time because he's like a basketball historian. When these big guys start having problems like this, it doesn't tend to go away. Like Ralph Sampson had this big problem in the 80s. Bill Walton had this big problem in the 70s, 80s. Shaq had this problem towards the end of his career. Dwight had this problem towards the end of his career. Hakeem had this problem towards the end of his career. It's just these guys get old, and there's just too much body to support, especially Embiid. He's 7'2", and he's a fucking huge guy.
He's thick. Unlike Wemby, who's 7'5", but he's more of a stilt. That can also be detrimental to an extent.
But that kid's
against body.
He's 20 and he's 7'4". Anyway, that's a shame. Was just Joel Embiid. Either way you look at it, if you look at it as if he's kind of a not doing everything he can, or if you look at it as just a shame that he got injured and such a great talent was robbed from us. But either way, that's a shame.
That might be the most basketball we've talked for
nice little 20-minute basketball segment. We don't do.
I mean, there's a lot to be excited about with the Terps right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we got a month left, a little over a month left. So getting down to the good games, the meaningful games.
Well, we got
Ohio State
next. We got a better conference record than Arkansas has in the SEC. Suck it, Joe.
Arkansas is terrible. We looked this up. I remember. I couldn't believe it. They hadn't won a game in the SEC yet. Next Terps game is not until February 6th. That is a week from today, I believe.
Yeah, that's a week.
A week from today, I think. So maybe a week from tomorrow.
Brooksy, I know you're a little frustrated that we aren't ranked already. I really don't give a damn about the rankings. So I don't really trust them.
Me neither, but I mean, it's a little bit of disrespect, though.
I remember there was one year, I can't remember, it was 6-7 years ago. We were like the number 11 team in the country, and we got like a 5 seed.
Yeah,
I remember Delaware Day being pissed about that.
I was at Maryland. It was my junior or senior year. It was the year we had Jake Layman, Des Wells, Melo Trimble, the Evan Smotrich team. I hate that guy. Diamond Stone. I think it was my senior year. We at one point were number 2 in the country. Rashid Suleiman transferred from Duke. We had Robert Carter transferred from Georgia Tech. We had a ton of good players.
Was Des Wells on that team?
Yeah, Des Wells from Xavier. But we had a ton of good players on the team. At one point in the middle of the season, we were number 2. We ended up getting a 5 seed. And of course, in the round of 32, the 5 seed has to play the winner of the 116. And the winner of the 116 happened to be the number 1 overall seed that year in Kansas with the Harrison twins, who were caught between Kansas and Maryland at the end and picked Kansas and beat us in the championship, or beat us in the NCAA tournament. But just a really unfortunate. And I was pissed about that too, because we got completely screwed on that bracket. a top 10 team in the country and got a number 5 seed.
Yep.
Anyway, it was Turgeon, so we weren't going to win anyway. Sorry, that's a shade to Turgeon, but don't like the guy. I'm a Maryland fan, and he kind of took me out of Maryland basketball for a couple years because he was so hard to watch. A bunch of relievers signed in baseball. I don't know if you guys want to talk about it. Tommy Kahnle went to the Tigers. Wade Miley going to the Reds. Can't believe Wade Miley's still playing baseball.
Can't believe it either. I saw it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Kansas City Royals signed Carlos Estevez. He's a guy that I was talking about a lot this offseason.
That one's
going to
hurt.
about on this podcast.
That one sucks.
Nobody in the AL Central, it seems like, wants to do anything. So good for the Royals for actually making some moves this offseason and trying to get better. They already traded for Jonathan India this offseason. What were you about to say?
I disagree with that a little bit, just because not the Cubs. The White Sox just traded Crochet to the Red Sox and fleeced them again.
That's true, but the White Sox aren't going to be competitive for years.
I agree, but they just, and they know that, and they made the right move, and honestly, I think they took advantage of the Red Sox. So.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, but the thing is, I'm saying
the Twins should be doing something.
Exactly, the Twins, the Guardians, the teams who were really good last year, who had a chance to elevate themselves, they haven't done shit. The Twins and the Marlins in the last 2 years have spent a combined $13 million on free agents. In the last 2 years, those two teams combined.
Do they have anything in the pipeline?
The Mets signed Soto for $770 million this offseason. It's just ridiculous. I also keep hearing that San Diego, they want to trade Cease and King, and they couldn't sign Jurickson Profar. They didn't even make him a competitive offer. Because they have to shed money. They're running out of money. It's just like, no, you're fucking not, guys. Like, you're a professional baseball team. You're making money. There's no way you're not. I know they're paying a lot of guys. But look at the Dodgers.
They made a shit ton of money off of that Dodgers Padres playoff series.
Absolutely, they had to have.
That was the most entertaining series, honestly.
I just don't get it. These franchises claiming that they're bleeding money. Like, your profit reports are public. Like, we can see them. You're not bleeding money. You're not. Yeah, you're not making as much money as you made last year, but you're spending more now so that you can make more in the future, i.e. the Dodgers. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I have to do that every time I say it. Other than that, Ha-Sung Kim, I said this in the group chat, 2 years, $29 million to the Rays. It's a 1-year deal with an player option. It's the most Rays signing ever. It's cost them basically no money, $14 million a year. And he is a league average hitter at shortstop, but well above the league average defensively. And he can play a ton of positions around the field. Just a total Rays kind of guy. They're going to play him all over the field. He's going to hit league average, but he's going to the Rays, so he's going to end up hitting for a 900 OPS somehow out of nowhere. It's just
I think I saw somebody on Twitter also said that he's not going to be ready to start the year either with his injury
because of his shoulder.
Yeah. But,
anyway,
I think it's a good signing for the Rays. Obviously, so
plug and play starter. Yep. If he hits it all, it's a bonus. If not, he's playing great defense. So that's the kind of player that the Rays go after. It just makes a lot of sense to me. Nothing really else on baseball except did we talk about Jurickson Profar to Atlanta? I don't think we did.
We didn't talk about Profar. Let's start there. Dusty, I think you shared this. If you want to talk about this, their salary. Their entire roster salary versus the Dodgers or something like that.
I did share this, and honestly, this would be something I'd really love to pull up.
Pull that up. This was super interesting, and I'm like, man, that the Braves, for all intents and purposes, they're not that. They're pretty damn neck and neck, if not better than the Dodgers in terms of like when you go up and down that lineup. Yep. If everybody's healthy, obviously. Their pitching's probably not better, obviously, with Fried leaving and hopefully Strider. I don't know if Strider's starting the year there or not.
He got CJ very early, like 5 starts into last season. So I would imagine he'd be ready by like mid,
or at least not too long. Yeah.
They do lose Max Fried though in their starting rotation, which is rough.
And Charlie Morton. Charlie Martin.
Shout him out. Shout him out.
Okay, let's find this.
Tell you, man, Charlie Moore is going to kill it. And then our boy Steve Sagano.
Old
Steve.
Stevie. We didn't talk about Gunnar Henderson, by the way, on the cover of the new MLB The Show game.
I was gonna do
Yeah.
that. I was gonna do that, but then you brought up the profile and the Braves.
I do want to share this. Hold on, I'm pulling it up now. Sorry, it took me a while to find it, but I
all
got
good,
it now. Present, share screen. No, that's not what it is.
That's not good.
Sorry, I'm having trouble here.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. So I'll go with my that's a shame. Just pivot while Dustin
go
pulls
ahead.
that up. I watched. I don't know why I watched this. I watched the Brian Schottenheimer press conference to
how
introduce
was
him as
that?
the Cowboys head coach. Well, it was. He gets emotional at one point talking about his father, and of course, Jerry Jones, being Jerry Jones, has to interject and then begin to talk about Jerry Jones' father. Well, Brian Schottenheimer is crying. That's not my that's a shame, though. My that's a shame is during the press conference, Jerry Jones says this line, and it just ends with very low percentage of it just being smiles and glory holes. Very low percentage.
Yes, he did. He did say
That
that.
is awesome.
He did say glory holes, and he doesn't know what that means. There's no way he does, right?
No, he definitely knows what that means. Christ.
I don't know, man.
Very
He's
low
like 800
percentage.
years old.
Very low
He's,
percentage.
he's probably used a couple of them in his day.
Oh God.
You could just see you could hear like the audible like from the media.
All right, I'll do mine too while we're talking about it. It's that's a shame, but it's not really that bad. Where does it rank? How do I want to word this? How does Liam Cohen's introductory press conference with his Duval thing rank in like the biggest goobers with like Adam Gase and Sirianni and Dan Campbell? You could say Dan Campbell too, because when he had his press conference, everyone was like this stupid meathead who probably just chews on rocks all day, doesn't know what the hell he's gonna do. And like that's got to be up there with him.
Dan Campbell's is my number one. That's my 1 seed. And then Adam Gase is.
I don't know, man.
Adam Gase is bad.
Adam Gase was bad, but like Sirianni literally said, less thinky, more athlete takeovery.
Oh man, maybe Tampa got away with one there. Maybe they're happy now.
I don't know, maybe they.
I think just because looking back on how bad Adam Gase ended up being, I think now I have to say Adam Gase just because. God, that guy just completely destroyed 5 years of Sam Darnold's career.
And the Cardinals head coach's introductory press conference. I don't know if it was his press conference or if it was just like his first mic'd up or whatever. I mean, whatever that little rocket ship thing he did was so nerdy.
Yeah, he's such a weirdo. That's Jonathan Gannon, right?
Yeah, Jonathan Gannon.
This is the thing that I wanted to show you guys. I don't know why the picture is crooked, but so on the bottom you see Juan Soto total value deal with the Mets, $765 million. Combined value of all of these contracts. I don't know why Brooks is the only one on the screen.
I was trying to make that the main screen, but
yeah.
Oh well.
Anyway, so if you guys can see it, it just goes through the Braves' entire lineup and what the value of their contracts is for the foreseeable future. Obviously, some bigger than the others. It's crazy. Looking at Acuna, 8 years, $100 million. Looking at Austin Riley, $212 million. Matt Olson, $168 million. Like all these guys are way underpaid based on their performance. Ozzie Albies is a $35 million player. And I think that was like a 6 or 7 year deal that he signed when he was like 19 years old. The Braves just get in early with these guys. They sign him to long-term extensions. Michael Harris, another guy, I think that was like a 5 year, $72 million deal. All these guys are super young, under control for the Braves forever. And Ronald Acuna Jr., who's one of the best players in the league, I can't stay on the field all the time, is under an 8 year, $100 million contract. So this just gives you this gives you an example of what the Mets gave up when they signed this Juan Soto contract. This is an entire lineup of potential all-stars, really, other than Arcia, I would say. All of these guys have a potential to be all-stars, and have been over the last couple of years. So it's pretty crazy the way that the teams are building rosters completely differently throughout the MLB. That's something I wanted to talk about it just a little bit there. Sorry it took me so long to pull that up.
You're
I don't
muted,
know why.
Brian.
Yeah, the name that obviously the Acuna deal. I remember when that got signed, and it was $100 million, and I was like, "Damn, they signed him real early. They must really, really like him." Well, damn, they weren't wrong.
Yeah.
And the other name that is Michael Harris. He's a sneaky good ball player. I remember him when he was with the Nats. He's sneaky good.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just one of those things where I look at it and I'm like, Baltimore, just do this. Sign Gunnar now. Sign Adley now. Like we could have signed Santander 3 years ago for no money. I mean, obviously, it's a different organization, and different things. Also, Atlanta's probably got a little bit more money to spend than we do, at least budgeted. But I don't know. With this new ownership, we really haven't seen. This was the first offseason. Obviously, I think it's a little bit disappointing for a lot of Orioles fans, but I mean, we made a lot of moves around the margins that I think can make us a better team. So,
yeah, the other thing is to think about. Yeah, we still got another month. The other thing to think about is how many. I'd like to look up how many of those guys are Boras guys, because I mean that can be a contributing factor as well. That I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but I mean those guys. If a lot of them are from the Dominican or wherever else, they're not American, or they're not. I don't know. The highest was Acuna a high draft pick. I don't even know if he came out of nowhere, if they just signed him from over
international.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that could be something as well that plays into it, because that Boras is telling Gunnar not to sign anything right now.
Why is Scott Boras such an asshole?
Acuna was a international free agent July 2014.
I mean, you say that, but he's trying to do the best for his players, right? He's trying to give them the most amount of money. Like, and I tend to side with the players on that kind of stuff. But sorry, Dustin.
No, you're good. Acuna was a international free agent, and then like in 2 years, he was the number one prospect in baseball. He just completely tore up the minor leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying there, Brooksy. He's doing his job, and he's doing a great job of getting guys money and paid. It's just he's a thorn in the side of the fans in terms of making the fan bases happy.
He is. Yeah. I mean, even Ben McDonald talks about it. Like, he was his agent and still receives a gift from him all the time. And Ben McDonald loves the guy, which says a lot for me, because Ben McDonald, for all intents and purposes, not that I know him personally or anything like that, seems like an awesome dude. So
I saw him in a hospital gown on Twitter the other day, but apparently he just got back surgery. He got a back surgery, so it wasn't like anything super major, but obviously I'm sure those procedures are no fun to go through.
This is a phenomenal segue. We can do a little bit of story time with Brian.
I love segues.
So,
have you ever ridden a Segway?
No,
but what happened to them? Do you guys, in all seriousness, do mall cops still use them? Or
they made Paul Blart Mall Cop, and then they just phased them out. It was like that rollerblading joke.
If you ever want to watch just pure hilarity on the internet, pull up Segway fails, because people, they're drunk or whatever it is, like they'll like start going forward, backwards, back, bang.
It's like those and those little boards that kids used to like step on, and they could go like back and forth. You know what I mean?
They still use those. They're the one wheels.
I just don't see them. No, not the one wheels are popular now, I feel like, but I guess they were one wheels, right? But I mean, they were like
the same, right?
They were kind of they are kind of the same, but those are like, I don't know. Regardless, but like I feel like they're not as popular anymore when the kids were getting on them, when you could move like both your feet back and forth, and turn it and stuff.
This is why this podcast makes no freaking sense whatsoever. We just want to start talking about segways.
Hey, man.
We're not here to be ESPN.
Good point. Yeah, we're not getting clicks.
Tell us a story.
Tell us your story.
So we're talking about back surgery. So yesterday I get up out of bed, and I mean I'm 2 feet out of bed to go to the bathroom, and I like sneeze and cough at the same time, and I like jerk myself forward,
Jerk
and
what?
and and I definitely pulled something in my back really nice, and I actually fell backwards onto my bed and started rolling around like a turtle trying to get up. And the remote controls underneath me, the channels on the television are changing in front of my bed. I'm like, God damn it! And I'm still in pain. It hurts to laugh. Like I'm trying to not like show it when I'm giggling here on this podcast.
You know you're getting old when you sneeze and throw your back out.
Throw your back out.
Yeah,
I wasn't even lifting anything heavy. I wasn't doing anything rugged and manly. I was just sneezing.
You should have called Tony Pops and just said, "Hey, it happened."
Hey, I get it.
I'm old. It happened. I'm old.
Dad, I just graduated. To old.
All right, here's my here's
speaking
what
of
I
Tony-
here's
Go
what I
ahead.
just saw that was really awesome as I was kind of scrolling. You guys want to see a stud? Who's that?
Is that Dan Campbell?
Yes.
It looks like Dan Campbell. Good for him.
That is Dan Campbell. Busting with the
Ripping a
boys.
cig.
Shout out to them. Ripping a cig. He's got the cigarettes in his bathing suit waist pocket right there in his waistband.
man.
Fuck yeah.
Good for him.
Dan freaking Campbell.
Busting with the boys said that?
Yeah, Busting with the boys just tweeted that.
That's awesome.
Can you imagine hanging out with that guy?
Oh man.
Dude, there was an amazing story that somebody, I can't remember who said it. Somebody has an amazing, I think it may be Rabel has an amazing story about Dan Campbell in like Texas. I need to find this. I'll find it for next show. It's ridiculous. Anyway, off the rails. Gunnar Henderson is on MLB The Show with Ellie De La Cruz and Paul Skeens. Are you guys surprised that Bobby Witt is not on this?
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind, Brooks. I'm glad you said that. Because, I mean, they get paid to do this. So I'm assuming he wants to take the money, unless he thinks he's got enough already from his contract.
Am I surprised? No. I mean, look, the last 2 years, it's been Vlad Jr. and Jazz Chisholm was on it the year before. It's not like they picked the biggest name every year. The years before that, it was Tatis, it was Ohtani. I mean, they picked bigger names. I think this year they're probably trying to put more of a spotlight on like the up and comer guys, and that's why they picked all three of these young guys: Ellie, Paul Skeens, and Gunnar. And I've also heard that they're probably trying to incorporate more college and high school stuff now that they have more rights deals in college. So like when you create your player and you go through the ranks, I think you're going to be able to do the college stuff a little bit more in depth because they have more rights this year. So I think they wanted to show three dudes who got to the MLB in completely different ways. Gunnar got drafted out of high school. Paul Skeens got drafted out of college, obviously went to LSU, and Ellie De La Cruz, international free agent, signs and comes in a different way. I think that's going to be one of the points of the game, is to show, like, highlight the different ways that guys get into the game these days.
Mm-hmm.
Am I surprised it's not Bobby Witt? No, not really. These are three of the best young players in baseball. It would have been cool to get Gunnar, Ellie, and Bobby Witt on here and just have the three best young shortstops in the league.
Yeah.
Not throwing any shade to any of the guys that are not on there. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll pull it up now just so you guys just can see the cover. This is the cover of the video game. Paul Skeens, Ellie De La Cruz, and then Gunnar Henderson on the right, obviously. So really cool that they're Orioles are represented. Yeah. And you can see on the cover.
Stop messing with it.
Sorry. You can see on the cover the players, like it shows their journeys from where it says LSU.
Oh, that's cool.
Shows their
I like
journey.
that.
So I think
look at that. You got an Indianapolis Indians right there. I like it.
So that's one of the things I think that they're pushing this year, and that's why these guys are on the cover in particular. But really cool, highlighting some of the younger guys in baseball.
One of the cool things, I can't remember which league did it, and it might have been an MLB. But one year they had like regional covers. I think it might have been Madden that did this. So they had a player from each region that would be on the Madden cover. So for example, Chris. So that could have been cool too. They could have had like different covers. Now I'm not talking about regional here when I say this comment. They could have had Bobby Witt on his own cover, Gunnar on his own cover.
Yeah. And there could be some
I'm-
sort of legend edition of this game that has Bobby Witt on it or something like that too. Like they had Griffey on it a couple years ago.
I could see this going to like each team's star.
And then do like a
They-
bracket. They did that in
like
Madden
the-
1 year.
Well, yeah, I could see that, but like each team's star, and then like whoever buys the game can pick who they want on their cover, almost like a baseball card deal. I could see them doing that, but I mean I don't know. Everyone's looking for more money. I'm sitting here trying to make them money at this point.
It is cool. One of the modes in the game is called Diamond Dynasty, and you are able to collect and use the cards, like the tops cards, the Fleer cards, upper deck, whatever. They pick like the coolest cards of each guy in the year when they have really good years, and you can use that player from that year in that mode, which is really cool.
No.
That's one of my favorite modes to do. And it gives you a perspective of the history of baseball and some of the coolest, like the Mickey Mantle card that sold for like jillions of dollars at auction. You could use him in that year that he was really good. And you get a feeling for those kind of guys because there's probably 15-year-old kids who don't know who Mickey Mantle is.
Yeah.
And they
That's
get to
a
find out he's a switch hitter, he's a center fielder, he's a stud, he can steal bases. You know what I mean? Like they get to find that stuff out about that guy. They wouldn't have known otherwise.
Estevez's deal details just came out.
What is it? Not much.
22.2 million for 2 years guaranteed.
We're a 1-year deal for relievers kind of team though.
I would
We'll get there
have
someday.
given him 14. Christ.
Maybe there's something wrong because I know we offered Hoffman way more money than the Blue Jays ended up giving him, and he'd had the shoulder thing. Maybe there was something wrong with Estevez that we don't know yet.
I don't know.
Or maybe the Orioles just didn't like him. So that's possible too.
Fair. I mean, maybe Pigtown's probably already dove into this. I wonder how I don't know, but Pigtown wanted him. I wonder what his numbers against like the AL East are like. Did he get shelled or something by them? Does he not pitch well against those guys? I don't know.
Did you guys see this? And I'm going to bring it up, and if one of you guys can pull it up. If you want to see the best thing I saw on the internet this week, this Dominican baseball player who has the slowest home run trot.
Yeah.
It's at one point he stops at third base and starts hugging the third base coach.
Yeah. So Pujols was the head coach of this team, right? I think it's Junior Caminero.
Junior Caminero. He's a Rays prospect, I think.
Yeah, he's supposed to be really, really good. But
He
yeah,
hits
it takes him
450-foot bomb. It has to take him 2 minutes to get around the
It takes him a good minute to get to first base from home plate. Like it's crazy. He's sitting there celebrating with his teammates for like 30 seconds before he starts running around the bases.
They basically break that into a dance.
And it wasn't a walk-off. It was the top of the ninth, too. It was the top of the ninth. So the other team still had to bat in the bottom.
I mean, he pimps the hell out of this thing. If I'm the other team, I'm running out of the dugout when he gets to third base and just tackling this fucking guy.
Oh, man.
It's so great. I mean, he breaks into dance. He's like flexing. When he stops at third base, it's if you can enlarge this, it's absolutely fucking incredible. This is Ryan Rifkin. Oh, man. I saw it, and I thought it was a walk-off home run because the way he's celebrating and like the whole team's out on the field, I'm like, okay, this has got to be absolutely like, incredible. This is like, I guess, yeah, it'll come up here in a second, but just I've never seen. Look at this guy.
This isn't even the thing we're talking about. I think this is the wrong highlight.
Yeah,
that's how the game ended, I guess. But yeah, anyway, we'll
I'm going to send you the link
for showing it anyway. But we'll pull it up we'll pull it up.
Here, I'll find it
in a second.
Yeah, go ahead and find it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's on SB Nation. Rays prospect delivers slowest home run trot and highest bat flip possible in Dominican League.
While Brooks is pulling that up, actually, never mind. I don't want to transition into football while we're still talking about baseball.
Now, Dusty, do you play MLB The Show a lot? Like, I'm not a video gamer, so
I played religiously for like 5 or 6 years. I played all the time, and then they changed up a lot of the stuff. I didn't really like it, and also, it's kind of you got to play a lot to like keep earning the stuff that I want, like to keep earning the cards. It's just a grind, and I'm older now. I don't want to grind through video games anymore. I just kind of want to play them and have fun. So no, I don't play it as much anymore, but definitely with Gunner on the cover, I'll be picking it up and playing it a little bit. There is a cool thing on Xbox called Game Pass, which is like Netflix. You just download the games and you can play them, and you just pay $15 a month. You don't have to buy the games individually, which is really cool. But here's the home run try.
Here's the home run. This guy is going fucking nuts.
He's going crazy. Look, he's down the line. He's not even at first base. Let's get the closed captions up here.
Yeah,
it's right here on the. Yeah,
this is just flat out gorgeous.
So he smokes this ball.
454 feet.
Lead in the championship game, of whatever league this is.
It knocked it out. Knocked the video board out.
Yeah, look, he's not even down the first base line yet. He's air guitaring with his teammates. He's going absolutely apeshit. The crowd is going banana, single banana. He's standing on first base. He had to grab his teammate's helmet to run around the bases.
The second base was so defeated.
Oh man.
Was that Luis Castillo?
I thought it was Johnny Cueto.
Cueto, yeah. Cueto.
Oh my god, dude. He's still going, by the way. Those of you who are listening, I'm sorry that you're having to listen to this, but
if you're listening, what are you doing? Watch us on YouTube.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
And he touches home plate. Which is
and you
good.
see one of the guys.
Oh. Cueto actually started the game.
Cueto did start the game. There you go.
That ball is pissed on. Holy
it's definitely not
shit.
Johnny Cueto. He would have gone.
Started kicking people.
Looked backwards like for 10 seconds before he delivered the ball to home plate or some weird shit.
That one, that video right there is up there with the. I think it was Juan. I think it was Juan Encarnacion who got plunked in a minor league game. And he turned around and kicked the catcher.
Oh, was it him?
Yeah.
Oh, my blood pressure's so high from laughing so hard. My back hurts like hell. But I remember Juan Encarnacion, he got plunked, and he just turns around and just drop kicks the catcher so he can run after the pitcher.
There's some really good videos if you guys want to go on deep dives on the internet. It was Delman Young who kicked the catcher, I believe. Big Town says, sorry, me and Brooks are keep clicking this at the same time, but Delman Young who kicked the catcher. Yeah, it makes sense. I've seen that video, but it's been so long. There's some really good ones. There's some really good Augie Garrido blow-ups. There's some really good minor league baseball blow-ups where the guy goes around and takes all the bases and kicks dirt all over the home plate. It's really fun to watch.
Delman Young, strip club legend within our baseball group chat. I think he went with a couple of the boys. I won't name names, but went with a couple boys at a titter. Had a good time.
After shit, where did they go to the bar that night? Over in Fed.
I don't remember.
Nobles.
Nobles. They went to Nobles.
Nobles,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
They were upstairs at Nobles, and he was
yeah.
serving drinks from behind the bar after they finished.
Yeah, he used to see him around town quite a bit. Let's transition into the NFL. Bill Belichick had some interesting things to say about the now Lombardi Trophy. He thinks that the Lombardi Trophy, the Super Bowl trophy that is awarded to the team that wins the Super Bowl, should be renamed after Tom Brady. Bill Belichick obviously having a lot of say here.
Is he serious about this?
Yeah, this is true. This is a real thing. He thinks that Tom Brady should rename the trophy after Tom Brady. What do you guys think about this? I mean, it breaks tradition a little bit, but I think Tom Brady has earned something to be named after him, whether it's
not yet
Super Bowl MVP or something like that, or if it's just if it's too early for that kind of thing. I know in the NBA they recently made the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals MVP trophies. They named them after Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Which is cool.
See, that's been a while, though, Yeah,
it's been 30 years, 40 years. So I don't know. I mean, look, Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls. So if they're going to do anything, it makes sense to me. What do you guys think about this, Brian? Let's go to you first.
It's like Brooksy said, it's way too early. I want to be true to Bill Belichick. I didn't hear, maybe he was saying it as a joke. because I think it was on the Let's Go podcast. But if he was being serious, that's just foolish. It's way too early.
It's kind of hard to take. It's kind of hard to tell when he's joking too.
Yeah, good point. And it's not like Tom Brady. I don't want to. It's not like he passed away, and you're doing this in memoriam. So that's just foolish. Keep the Lombardi Trophy. I think Green Bay would go into an uproar and start burning the country to the ground if you change the name of that trophy.
Yeah, I think something. He'll get something. Of course, he should. I think, but maybe he does get this at some point. But like I said, I think it's too early to do any of that.
Well, you're not naming a broadcast booth after him. I'll tell you that much. Not good there.
I didn't think he was bad the last game he called. Did you guys hear him the last game he called?
The Eagles Commanders game. I thought he was better. I thought he was better than he was the week before. The week before he was terrible.
Yeah.
In the Eagles Packers? I think that was the game he called.
Well, he wasn't paying attention. He was thinking about hiring the next head coach for the Raiders.
No, he was talking. It was the Lions Commanders game the week before because there was a 61-yard touchdown that Jameson Williams on like a triple reverse, and he was like, "Well, it's really just a normal play," and it's just like, no, it's not Tom Brady. I've never seen a running back get the ball and then pass it backwards to a receiver who was running behind him. That's never happened.
I love your Tom Brady impersonation is terrible.
It's not good. Thank you. You're welcome. I can do a better impression of remember when Tom Brady was hammered and throwing the Lombardi Trophy from boat to boat, whatever harbor in Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
I can do a better impression of that. I'm good at being drunk.
I think we're all pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for February 1st, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you've been you've been on the dry January train. I didn't know that.
I have.
Good
Well,
for you.
either February 1st or I'm going to extend it till I go see Tom Segura here in a few weeks. One or the other.
Hell yeah. We also got the Super Bowl on the 9th. I quit drinking the day the Ravens lost, and I haven't had a drink in what has it been, probably 10 days. We'll see how long I'm going to go. I'm going to go at least till Super Bowl Sunday, but last year I made it I think I made it past 40 days. So we're going to see if I can break that.
Good deal.
Anyway, you guys want to do our draft now, and then we can get into some call-ins? Or do you guys want to talk about the NFL a little bit more?
The one thing, before we move on from the NFL, then we'll do our draft and get the call-ins. I know we got some people that want to call in today.
Yeah.
The Saints job, looks like that's going to Kellen Moore. With everyone taking their names out of the running, it's got to be Kellen Moore's job. Is that?
I think it's going to be a complete disaster. I think Kellen Moore's an idiot. I think the Saints are in a terrible situation right now. They're in cap hell, and it's finally catching up to them. They still don't have a quarterback. I think they can get out of the Carr contract, but they got to eat some money.
No, they
can't.
Well, they can, but they're gonna be in that Denver Broncos situation where they're eating like $90 million. But I think they owe him $40 million, and then the next year it's 24. But they have the ability to get out of it at any time, of course, but take a lesser of a hit. And he might not even be fully healthy when he comes back for camp.
Randy, what's up, dude? Randy says that he should get the Super Bowl MVP trophy named after him. I totally agree with you. I don't think it's named after anybody as of now. So that makes sense to me, but maybe, 10, 15 years, I guess these guys are saying you could do it right now. As far as I'm concerned, he's the best person to ever touch a football. So
that'd be weird to say though, the Tom Brady Super Bowl MVP trophy just sounds weird. I feel like it just should be Super Bowl MVP. I don't know. But he should get something.
Isn't the Hank Aaron Award the MVP for the baseball? Isn't it the Hank Aaron and
the fact that you're not sure is
you're right.
Telltale.
You're right.
Trivia question. What's the name of the NBA title trophy?
The WNBA
Bill Russell. It should be the Bill Russell trophy or something.
It's the Larry O'Brien trophy.
God damn it. I should have known that.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Good talk.
More of a Larry Brown guy.
We did have one other thing on our list here to go over, guys. The stupidity of Pro Bowl and Pro Bowl alternates.
So there is no Pro Bowl this year. It is the Pro Bowl games. I think they're playing dodgeball and a bunch of skills competitions.
It's been that way the last 2 years, I think.
Yeah. So
great. Thank you for that information. It's the Pete Rozelle Super Bowl MVP award.
Yeah, Brian, you wanted to rant about this. I don't really care because I think
did you guys know this? Good call,
No.
British Raven, because I did not know this.
That's
Which
a name I've
also
heard
speaks
before, but-
volumes.
It's a name I've heard before, but I couldn't tell you why.
Pete Rozelle?
Well, no, just like I
More of
didn't
a
know
Pete
that.
Rose
I
guy.
didn't know the Super Bowl MVP award was named the Super Bowl MVP Pete Rozelle Trophy. I had no
I
idea.
didn't know.
So he was a commissioner for 30 years. Okay, I get it.
Also,
He was a commissioner
again,
before Tagliabue, and then
Yeah.
Tagliabue went to Goodell. Yeah.
but I mean, still, I didn't know that. And again, speaks. I think Brady should get something that's, you know what I mean.
Well, I don't even know
Went
if
to high school with Duke Snyder. Good for Pete Rozelle.
holy shit.
That must have been a hell of a baseball team.
Yeah. Well, Pete Rozelle was a
Ooh.
commissioner.
That's okay. He probably was good at baseball. Duke
But,
Snyder was a Hall of Famer. He probably killed high school baseball.
he crushed it, sure. But is the Major League Baseball World Series trophy? Does that have a name?
I think
don't
it's literally
so.
called. I think it's literally called the Commissioner's Trophy.
Commissioner's Trophy. Got
I
it.
think.
That's one of the more awkward trophies too, because it's all the flags.
I like it.
Hey, it's unique as hell. I mean, the
Just-
best trophy in
it's
all
called the
sports.
Commissioner's. Called the Commissioner's Trophy. That's true.
Bam!
I mean, yeah, they don't have to
Bam!
name every trophy after somebody.
Fucking nerds.
I mean, people are
But-
going to remember Tom Brady regardless of the trophy. It's not like they're going to rename the Masters trophy or the green jacket to Tiger Woods green jacket. You know what I mean?
Manfred does not deserve to have a trophy named after him.
He called it a hunk of
Manfred.
metal. He called it a piece of metal. I mean,
Because
look,
he said, "Who cares? It's just a piece of metal." Yeah, you're right. The
And
whole
look-
thing that your sport is based around doesn't fucking
Yeah,
matter. You
trying to
retard.
achieve.
Jesus
Steve Wilkes.
Christ.
Steve Wilkes was hired as the Jets defensive coordinator on Aaron Glenn's staff. I think this is a good decision. Steve Wilkes has been around the NFL forever. He was most recently the interim coach for the Carolina Panthers a couple years ago. Some people
Did he
still
not
argue
coach
that he
last
should
year
have
for
never
anywhere?
gotten fired from that job. I don't know. He was probably coaching
I
somewhere
thought he
last
was
year.
a D coordinator somewhere last year, but
He was fired. Yes, he was the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers last year, and he was
Oh,
fired.
shit.
And that's why Saleh is there now.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, look,
interesting.
he's. I think he's got connections with Aaron
Aaron Glenn.
Glenn, and I mean, he's been around the league a long time. If it doesn't work out right away, but the green jack.
Don't
It-
disagree with you, Joe. if it's gonna be given a name, that's the name it should be
Yeah.
given.
The green jack. Jack.
Off.
Shut up.
good lord.
Um,
No,
other
the
NFL stuff. Yeah. I mean-
well, did we mention Chuck Pagano on our last
oh
podcast?
yeah, Chuck
Oh
Pagano.
yeah, good
Yeah,
call.
secondary, special assistant, secondary, senior special secondary assistant. What is
Senior-
the title?
Senior
Ex-
secondary coach. Senior
Assistant to
defensive
the
back-
manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched
Senior
his-
defensive backs coach.
He's the Dwight Schrute
Yeah.
of the secondary.
Yeah.
No,
AAR.
I saw the next arm. The shit was I watched his interview yesterday on Pat McAfee. It was awesome. He was awesome in that interview, and the love that those guys at the show have for him and vice versa was awesome to see as well. So I'm excited. And he was basically like, hey, I don't know what exactly I'm going to be doing. I'm just here. I'm basically here to help. Like, I'll do whatever. So
It really seems like he took this job because
he just wants to
wants
to
to
coach,
still-
wants to help.
he wants the camaraderie of a team still around him. And it doesn't seem like he's going to have a terrible amount of responsibility. So, because and how do you become a senior defensive backs coach? And it says the guy underneath of it, or the guy ahead of him, like the head defensive backs coach, is like 60, and Chuck Pagano is 64. So, is there a line of delineation that at 63 you become the senior defensive backs coach?
No, I think when he first came into the league, or for a while, he was like secondary was kind of his specialty before he became like a defensive coordinator. The head coach, obviously, is his procession. They were probably like, man, what do you want to do? Like, we'll just give you this. Like I said, he basically said, like, whatever they need from me, I'm here to help, and I'll give my input, take it or leave it. And it was really cool to see how emotional he was with Pat and those guys for giving him a chance to come on that show every week
Yeah.
and give him that locker room feel a little bit again, like as close to it as you can. Because it seemed like he was really missing it with how emotional he got about it. So
yeah, I don't know about you. I don't know about you, Brooksy and Dusty, but like that's the thing I miss the most about playing ball and coaching is just the camaraderie, being in the dugout with the boys, and or in the locker room or whatever it is. It's that camaraderie. It hits a note, and you still got the competitive juices flowing a little bit. Now we got to supplement it with golf or just competitive banter back and forth. I miss that. I miss that more than anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's same thing with hanging out with the boys at the bar. You know what I mean? But it's not competitive in that sense unless you're betting on shit. $1 American, $5 American.
I'm on a heater against Dell. I won 2 in a row.
Speaking of, we need to get Dell in here. It's been a while since his ass has been in here.
We got to do a props podcast next week for the Super Bowl. I'm looking at a prop on DraftKings. Saquon Barkley to score 5+ touchdowns, 150 to 1.
Jesus.
Yeah. Holy shit.
There to be a blocked punt in the game is 18 to 1. Either team. That would be cool.
But going to the Pro Bowl.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Go to the Pro Bowl.
Talk about the Pro Bowl, Brian, because you got to rant about this.
It ticks me off. We use Pro Bowls and All Pros. All Pro should really be the only measurement when we're talking about Hall of Fame. Like, you talk about championships, you want to talk about All Pros. The Pro Bowl is such a piece of trash. It's really become like a participation game, not even a game anymore. But it is still an award given to somebody that has contract escalators in it. It gets popped up every time that, like, if you look up the Hall of Fame list for this year, it lists how long the person played, the Pro Bowl, how many Pro Bowls they made, and then how many All Pros they had. And then I think it might mention championships. Yeah. And Pro Bowls, like fucking Drake May became a Pro Bowler.
Tyler Huntley was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago.
And he only played like 6 games.
Yeah. So, and that's going to go on his resume. And people are going to look at that. Now, not that Tyler Huntley's going to the Hall of Fame, but when you see like Russell Wilson's going to be the biggest one here, because look, he has a Super Bowl. I think he has like maybe 1 All-Pro, but he has like 9 Pro Bowls, and like 4 of them were when he was the alternate because 2 people didn't want to play, or 2 people got hurt, or 2 of them went to one went to the Super Bowl, and whatever conference he was in at that time. So it's bullshit.
Yeah, I think after 2010, maybe, should we stop taking this into consideration anymore? When did it stop becoming meaningful? Somewhere around there, probably, or 2005, 2010-ish. I
don't know. Whenever Sean Taylor laid that one dude out.
That was about it. Probably like right after they moved the Pro Bowl to like Arizona is probably when they should have.
I guess you can use it for guys who don't have as strong of an argument. Like you said, for Russell Wilson, if he's only got 1 All-Pro, if he's got 1 All-Pro and 1 Super Bowl win, then you're probably not getting in just based on that. But if you're thinking about Russell Wilson, the player, I mean, he's a top 2 or 3 player of the 2010s, probably behind Brady and Rodgers. And I mean, he could have won 2 Super Bowls. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, maybe that argument will help him. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
I guess to word it appropriately, I just don't like it being used as a measurement in order for the Hall of Fame and all these escalator things.
Yeah. And I mean, look, the teams are giving out those contracts. They know that Pro Bowler, that it's harder to make an All-Pro team than it is to make a Pro Bowl. But obviously, they're going to take their. I don't know if there's a player would probably want to put it in the contract more to put it in to be able to make a Pro Bowl or to get an incentive because it's easier to do to make a Pro Bowl. Like Kyle Van Noy made a Pro Bowl this year, and not to say Kyle Van Noy is a bad player; he had a great year. But I mean, we wouldn't think of Kyle Van Noy as one of the top defensive pass rushers in the game.
No,
but
damn, he's serviceable.
But good for him. Yeah. He's a hell of a player.
And Laura, thank you very much. I guess new to the podcast the last couple of weeks. Thank you very much. You're awesome. I love your knowledge of sports.
Yeah,
and your passion. I mean, you come in all caps. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
One more thing that we didn't touch on yet. I don't think we touched on it yet or last podcast. Tim Mesa signing a friend of the show, signing a major league deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates, which is a big deal in terms of that keeps him close to home. I know we talk about that a lot with the Corbin Burns situation, but this is one that is a little bit more near and dear to us, so we kind of understand why this is a good thing for him. And also, this is also a huge thing because we are trying to plan possibly go down to see some Orioles games and do some shows down there. Would be pretty cool.
Spring training, Brooks is referring to. He didn't say that.
Spring training. Sorry. It's going down to some Orioles games to do some shows at Orioles spring training. And the reason why this would be cool, because if you don't know, Pittsburgh spring training is also about 45 minutes down the road in Bradenton. Not even that far, probably. So we could do some live shows with Tim as well. So that would be pretty cool just for our show, just to hang out with Tim and be around him. I know a couple years ago when he was with the Blue Jays, they're in Dunedin, which isn't very far either. So if we do end up going down there, kind of works out for us as well, selfishly. So, and they play each other a ton because they're so close.
Yeah, the proximity
in spring training, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we went out for Chris Merrick's bachelor party, and we went to spring training. We went to a couple Oriole games at Ed Smith Stadium, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's pristine as hell. And then we went to the Blue Jays Stadium in Dunedin, and that was like going to Cuba. There was like cinder block walls and chain link fencing. We went to a bar called Bowser's. We stayed for 3 pitched outs, and then we went to man, all the boys.
They gave you a coupon on the ticket or something, right?
Yeah,
like
so
buy one get one free.
Then we went down to some brewery or some like little pub inside the stadium, inside Cuba, and then we were like, let's go back to Bowser's, this nitty gritty dirt bar across the street. And with your ticket, you got 2 free Pounder Rolling Rocks. And the place was so disgustingly dirty, like it made you not want to pee. Like I went in the bathroom and I'm like, I'm good. I'm just going to piss myself. It's totally fine.
My kind of bar.
I
love
awesome.
Shitty bars. Was there any Mario Bowser situation, or was it just Bowser after some random guy?
Tons of chicks with beards in there. They were great.
Some handsome women.
Oh, great.
Hell yeah, Laura.
Also significant for Tim that it's a major league deal and not a minor league deal. That means that contract is fully guaranteed. So if something happens, unfortunate, if he gets hurt or the Pirates want to move on, they get rid of him. He's owed that money anyway. And he can go to any other team and he can double dip. So awesome for him that it's not a minor league deal. He's going to be able to have some flexibility there.
Laura,
yeah, Laura. Hell yeah. Thank you, Laura. I would like to know, and we don't have to talk about this on air, if he had other options and if he chose Pittsburgh because of proximity.
So I talked to him. Well, you know what? I'll leave that. I was trying to have him on today. He's in Pittsburgh today, actually doing a physical and driving back home afterwards. So I was trying to time it up with him. It's just it's dependent on when that physical is and how long it's going to be and everything like that. So if something happens here between our draft and our call-ins and he texts me back and lets me know he's on his way home, we'll have him on. If not, we'll get him on the next one. So
yeah. And speaking of the draft, I think it's as good a time as ever to get into our draft for the day. We are doing 2 drafts this week because we forgot to put out our draft last week, and we owe you guys. We did put out our draft from last week earlier this week, and I won. Surprise!
I think you won by. Did you win by 1 vote?
Surprise! I did vote for myself, so that was the.
That's bullshit.
That was the winning vote, I guess. But anyway, you guys have been voting for yourselves too. Don't act like you haven't been. We all know. So I get to pick if I want to go first, last, second, whatever.
Wait, I only vote for myself. I only vote for myself because no one else votes for me.
Brian doesn't know how to work social media. He's still posted on Facebook and doesn't know how to make a poll for it or anything like that. So it's just
idea.
I'm gonna go first because I have a clear 1-1. Who came in second? Where do you want to go first?
Brian,
or second or third?
Brian.
I'm gonna go. I want the wrap round. I want to go third.
Okay. So
that's what I would have liked if I were choosing.
Brooks is going to go number 2. I'm going to go first. Brooks number 2, and me, Aaron Bryan number 3. The topic today for this draft is athletes we want to get a beer/cocktail with.
Dead or alive.
Dead or
Dead
alive.
or alive.
This could be a professional athlete. This could be a professional head coach, an announcer, anyone in the athletic world. We're not going to open it up to actors and actresses and other kind of celebrities or anything like that. We might do that in the future, though. That would be a good idea because Kevin Costner would have been at the top of the list otherwise.
Chris Farley. It's Chris Farley all day, man.
I have a clear number 111. He's the background on my phone, so this is the easiest number 1 for me ever. It is Tiger Woods. He is my favorite athlete of all time. And I know a lot of people, like my mother, for example, does not like him because of his escapades in the past. But I think he's a good example of making mistakes and admitting you make a mistake and changing yourself for the better. So I think he's an example of second chances, and I love it. So Tiger Woods, he's my guy. He's going to be number 1 here. Brooks.
Do I go with my favorite or the one I think is going to be the most fun? Just because I don't think he's going to survive the wraparound. Give me Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah. Ken Griffey Jr. was my number 2 overall, but I knew Brooks was going to take him. Could have played some strategery there, but couldn't let Tiger go.
I would have taken Tiger if you didn't take him.
Yeah.
Well, neither of those guys were on my list, so I wouldn't have.
Oh, well, I could have waited.
That's
now you're going to take one of my other ones that I should have taken probably.
My 1-1 is still on the board, and that is a Mr. John Daly.
Yeah.
John Daly was also on my board. I told you I had a lot of golfers.
Shit.
John Daly would be a lot of fun. How many cigs do you think you could rip with John Daly in a day?
Me personally,
Yeah.
1.
Not a big cig
I've
guy.
never smoked a cigarette in my life. I don't. If I hung out with John Daly, I'd have to start.
That'd be your first one.
Just Diet Cokes and cigs all day.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Charles Barkley.
Yeah, that was my.
Charles Barkley was also on my list. That's a.
I was also on my top 5, Brian. You took both of my. All right. Give me
This
Michael
is dead
Jordan.
or alive, by the way. Michael Jordan. I had Michael Jordan with a question mark on my list because I don't know if I want to get a beer with him. He's kind of scary.
I think it'd be a good time. Go play some golf, have a beer on the course and a cigar.
Yeah,
go
you'd
fish.
have to-
Go fish with him.
You'd have to gamble like $100,000 per hand if you play cards with him.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, okay.
It's all fake Monopoly money, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I think you've already won 1 vote, Brian.
My number 2
Oh,
overall
boy.
pick, and I get a wrap around here, so I get 2 here. I'm going to go with Stone Cold Steve Austin at number 2. Obviously, athlete. We don't have to have any discussion about that.
This is funny, Randy, because I had a beer with Joey Chestnut randomly one night.
Did you really?
Since he lives in Westfield.
Yeah. Brooks had 1 beer. Joey Chestnut had 80. No. I'm going to take Peyton Manning here. I love Peyton. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time, 5-time MVP. And he seems like a good guy and seems like a fun guy to have a beer with. I remember after he won the Super Bowl with Denver, he said he was going to have a lot of Bud Heavies that night, and that really resonated with me. Because I think I could have a couple Bud Heavies with Peyton Manning. Brooks, you got Griffey and Jordan. This is a stacked list.
Yeah, I
do
am
you want?
I'm going to go with this is one that's going to resonate with all my baseball fans out there. Wade Boggs.
Wade
And if you don't-
Boggs.
and if you
No
don't know-
way.
if you
don't know the story.
Not about Wade
If
Boggs.
you don't know the story, this will win you over.
Damn it.
Go ahead.
Damn it.
I totally damn it.
So the legend of Wade Boggs is he once drank a whole 30 rack of beer on a cross country flight between 2 games and went 3 for 4 the next day.
It's
That's
all right.
it's not one case of beer, Brooks. The legends are that it's
It was like-
64 beers.
Was it
64 beers. Yeah.
64 beers. Some people say it was as high as 100. There's all kinds of people. Will Clark actually is on my list. Why would you say that, Joe? Get out of here.
My friend Katie just texted me. She goes, "Fun fact: I'm actually meeting Michael Jordan in 2 weeks."
What?
She's in the medical field, so I don't know what the hell like they're meeting about. But I'm texting her right now. I'm in awe of my phone at the moment.
Dude, Conor McGregor, that's a good one. You could have a proper 12
Fuck
with
that dude.
All right, so Wade Boggs.
Proper 12 dropped him. Dropped
that?
him as a proper 12 has officially dropped
Dale
Conor
Murphy, but he
McGregor
probably doesn't
Really?
drink. I love that.
because because he was civilly convicted of sexual harassment in Ireland. or something.
Okay. Well,
Yikes.
okay.
Okay, well,
All
we're
right.
not taking him, Randy. Good call in, Randy.
All
You get 2 in a row, Brian. Who you got?
right, so I'm gonna go with a little recency here. Mr. Bob Uecker.
Wow, okay. Bob Uecker of Miller Lite commercial fame. Definitely liked his Miller Lite.
Man, just passed away a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
He's just fun. He was a funny guy. He was a comedian without even trying to be funny. So I think that's the reason I really want to have a beer with him is he would just make you laugh while you're sitting there drinking, and he can talk baseball.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go with Hurricane Ditka, Mike Ditka.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wouldn't be on my list, but there you go. Good for you. Ditka.
My next one, if we're talking about professional athletes, WWE world is a professional sport.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, please.
Oh, already taken. Already taken. You should be kicked out of the draft.
Dumbass.
You
There
should
are
get
a couple
stunned.
there are a couple other wrestlers on my list, but I'm not going to take them.
You should be stone cold stunned for that.
I should. I should. You're right.
Next time
And,
I see you, I'm going to Stone Cold.
You know what? I got a good second. Sebastian Janikowski, please. Seabass.
Oh, Seabass. Whoa.
That guy is known for drinking.
Well done.
Oh my God!
I
Gruden
forgot
told
him.
a story about him being hammered before a game one time, and he went out and nailed like a 58-yarder. Oh man, that's a good one.
Didn't Lane Kiffin try like a 76-yard field goal with him one time, and that was basically the basis of Al Davis firing him? He did it. Lane Kiffin, when he was the coach of the Raiders, he was like 32, and he just like wheeled him out there and had like a 78-yard kick to end the half, and he just did it as a fuck you to Al Davis. He knew he was already getting fired.
Oh my God!
I
I have
gotta
so
love
many.
that.
Can we do 10? Because I have way too
know.
many here.
I have a lot now.
I've got no recent. I got a recent guy on my list, but I can't take him yet. I can't take him higher than Mickey Mantle, who's going to be my number 4
Damn
pick
it.
here.
That was gonna be my next one.
Based on some letters he's written, I think he's a pretty funny guy. He definitely liked his booze. So I think that would be a fun hang for at least a night. And I've got just so many on here.
So many good ones.
Give me just for old school baseball purposes and for like just I know I would hear a million quips. Give me Yogi Berra. Just I know all the Yogi-isms I would hear in a night of drinking with that guy would be worth it 100%. And I've got 10 guys on this list I'd want to get beers with as well. I mean 10 15 more guys at least. But yeah.
Let me go hometown here. Give me Tony Saragusa.
Wow.
Damn. Great call. Great call.
I can't believe you didn't take your name.
You go Brooksy, huh? You go Brooks Robinson.
I mean, Tony's the Goose is known for having a good time, you know.
That's true. Let the goose loose. That'd be fun.
That's like I'm thinking like when I'm drafting these, I'm thinking like having a good time.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't think I'd have fun with Tiger Woods. Now, obviously, I'd be in awe, but I don't think I'd have fun. And I understand where you guys are coming from as well.
Yeah, that would be a really nerdy conversation, I think.
Yeah. That's why my last pick is someone that's completely off the board for most people. I'm going Mike Leach.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Wow.
He's on my list.
Mike Leach, R.I.P. By the way, Mike
Guns
Leach.
up. The man thought he was.
We've had a lot of Mike Leach talk the last couple weeks.
Dude, I love Mike Leach. I love that guy. I wanted him to be the Maryland coach so bad.
Oh, the man thought he was a pirate. It was unbelievable. And
That
he got fired from Texas Tech because he locked the kid in a broom closet because he wasn't doing really well in practice one day.
That was the last one, right?
That was the last one. Yeah, you're right.
So
Laura
Gronk-
and Joe both said this.
Gronk was
He
on my
on
list.
my list as well.
Look, we know we're going to get hammered because we can only get 5. We know we're
Yeah.
going to get crushed. There's so
All
many.
right.
Someone
All
rip
right,
off their honorable mentions.
Go ahead, Brian. You start.
I'll just do 5 because I know some of them are going to overlap.
Yeah.
I'm going Babe Ruth,
Mm-hmm.
Shaq,
Mm-hmm.
Harry
list.
Carey, old announcer, and then I had to bring in I really want to have one with Dale Earnhardt,
Senior
Ooh,
or
that's a
junior?
good one.
senior.
Yeah.
Danica?
Uh,
I could have a beer with her.
all right. Some of the ones that I left off were John Kruk,
On my list. First guy on
Rock.
my list.
The Rock, McAfee, Marshawn Lynch, Vince Wilfork, Dan Campbell, Kenny Mayne, SVP, Pac-Man Jones, Shane Leckler, Bo Jackson, and Barry Sanders.
Shane Leckler, the
Shane
punter?
Leckler.
Also known for having a very good time.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that about Shane Leckler.
Him and Seabass used to have at it.
I had Michaels and Summerall on my list. I'm not sure
Mhm.
which one of them was drunker, but I know they both like drinking. John Madden is on my list. I can't believe nobody picked him. Randy Moss, Tom Brady, Buck Showalter, Bobby Valentine, Earl Weaver, Randy Johnson, the big unit, Jason Kelsey, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Greg Maddux. I also had
this
the
bar-
Undertaker.
Laura, we brought this up before the show.
Oh,
I also
We
had
don't
the
wanna-
Undertaker, Adam Dunn, Jim Tomei, and Julian Edelman.
did anyone say Dan Campbell?
Brooks
Yes.
said it in
All right, sorry.
in his honorable mentions.
Rex Ryan was Rex Ryan on there? I was half paying
No.
attention. My dog just came sprinting down the stairs.
Oh, you're good.
So then I have Tony Gwynn. He's my favorite player of all time in baseball. So
Oh
that's my second mental.
man, I'm surprised you didn't take him.
That'd be a
I
good
would
one.
have taken.
I was drafted because of like people I have fun with.
Yeah.
What else do I got here? I have Bob Huggins, Ben McDonald, and Boog Powell. Those are if you guys named them, I wasn't paying too much attention. I'm sorry. I got mover
I didn't
coming
even.
in the
I
house.
can't. Nobody said Gary Williams.
Good point.
Likes having a good time.
I've heard he likes having, I've heard he likes having a good time
Heard,
at the old Starboard.
Yeah, the Starboard in Dewey Beach has seen many Gary Williams drunken
SVP,
escapades.
the SVP podcast's co-host Stanford Steve was wearing a Starboard pullover last week in their show.
That's awesome.
So I wonder. I'm kind of wondering if SVP takes Stanford Steve down there. Bobby Knight, that would have been a good one.
Ooh.
That would have been.
Brian
a
doesn't
good
like
one.
Bobby Knight, I don't think.
I'm not the biggest Bobby Knight fan either, but I think he'd be fun to have a beer with. The stories you could get out of him, like drunk Bobby Knight.
Nobody said Dan Patrick either, by the way.
Yeah.
Probably should have. Probably should
I
have.
mean, he's my favorite sports announcer, but I don't know if I'd want to have a beer with him.
Gretzky?
No.
No, not a hockey guy.
Would
Ovechkin.
you like to have a
fun.
good time? Ovechkin likes
Ovechkin.
to have a good time.
That show's a good time.
Yeah.
You know, and Gretzky talked about it on Dan Patrick's show, coincidentally, about how his favorite sport growing up was baseball, but he
Mhm.
just happened to be better at hockey.
Yeah, I remember
Well, I'd
that.
say.
Yeah.
I'd say he was good.
I'd say.
Yeah, Earl Weaver. That's Earl Weaver and John Madden.
Mhm.
Those are the two I thought
Those were big
for
misses.
sure going to go. And Jason Kelsey, I thought he was going to go too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, we're going to get crushed. There's still some that none of us have thought of yet.
yeah. And Greg Lazinski, like I said earlier, old Miller Lite commercials. Anyway, that is our the main content portion of our podcast. At least we are going to be doing call-ins though. So
Ooh, I
Joe,
forgot
British
to send that out.
Raven, anybody, if you guys want to call in and talk to us for a little bit, we're probably going to be on for another, I don't know, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and talk to you guys, and then we'll wrap it up. So thank you guys for listening. Brooks is going to put out the caller thing, the link on the all the social media platforms so you guys can get that, and it should be in the comments as well.
No. I'll be right back. I can put my dog away real quick while they move this couch out. Give me one second.
Okay.
Moving couches.
Yeah, Brooks, who was your number one person before we decided to just make it only athletes? Or do you want to save it? Because we're probably going to do that in the future.
Probably should save it. Just because it'll tie into some other stuff. So
British Raven says he is sick today. He's got no voice. Hey man, that's not a problem. Feel better, British Raven. I picked up a shift tonight because there's some sort of stomach bug going around Ocean City.
yeah, I mean,
So there's sickness all over the world, I guess.
here we go. There he is.
What's up, Joe?
Where'd he go?
Oh no, he's gone.
Uh-oh.
He was
Hold
here.
on. There he is.
There he is. What's up, Joe? How you doing, buddy? Uh-oh.
Got us.
Can't hear him.
Hold on.
See him?
There we go.
There we
There
go.
we go. You got me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
How you doing today? How's Arkansas?
Pouring rain. It is.
I think
pouring
that
rain.
I think that's coming our way. We're about to get some here later on this afternoon and all day tomorrow.
I mean, it's like 55 degrees, but it's pouring rain, and it sucks to pull orders in the pouring rain, but
Yeah.
got to do what we got to do, right? Where'd Brian go?
He had to go put his dog in, I think, in its crate because there's some scuffling of furniture going on in his house or something. He's always got something going on.
Guy's always moving and shaking.
This is why we start this show at 11:10 and not at 11.
We
Because
buffer.
of this man in the top right.
What's up, baby?
Fair enough. we got two guys you missed on the list.
Good.
Brooks Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
for me, not just because all the Orioles stories, but he's a Little Rock guy. He was born and raised here.
I forgot about that.
So
I did know that.
I unfortunately missed his last appearance here doing autographs because I saw it like 20 minutes before it ended, and I lived 45 minutes away. So I was very disappointed. It's like, damn. I think there's four or five ball fields in Little Rock named after him. So it's pretty cool.
That would make sense. I mean,
Did
what about like?
he still live there at all when he was older?
I don't think so. I think he stayed in Maryland.
Okay.
Did anyone say Artie Donovan from the Colts?
No, it was in the chat though. That's a good one though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was in the chat. Okay.
And for James McCann, because I think he can throw down.
I think he'd have a good time.
Mhm.
But,
I could see him pounding some beers.
I think he's a good time. His Instagram stories have been going crazy because he's ready for a contract. He saw Gary Sanchez get $8 million. He's like, I want my bag. Give me 10.
I don't
He is
blame him, man.
putting
I
out
can't
those
I can't
videos.
believe the numbers.
Yeah, he's putting out those videos like, I'm not ready to retire. Give me some money.
Who is
Is he
this?
looking
McCann.
James McCann?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's not going to retire. He was too good against lefties last year.
Is he what's he looking jacked, or is he just coming out like
Yeah, he's looking really jacked and ready to go, and some videos in the cage and everything. He's definitely trying to tell people, I'm here, I'm ready.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I did not love swapping out James McCann for Gary Sanchez. It's not my favorite move in the world. So
No,
Gary
it is
Sanchez for MVP, baby.
all right. Calm it down.
We got,
Calm it down.
Joe, you got any Arkansas facts for us today?
I sure do.
Hell yeah.
I sure do.
I sure do. Just for you, Brian. We got Bentonville. They do something every year called the Testicle Festival.
Yes. Yes.
This is Brian's favorite activity.
Festival. Would you
All
like
right.
to know what the Testicle Festival is?
Not really.
The Rocky Mountain Oyster Festival?
I do. I definitely do.
Yes, Brooks. It is bull balls. They cook and make a good time eating Rocky Mountain oysters every year.
It's fucking awesome.
Nice. Have you had one?
Have you gotten into that delicatessen?
No.
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 Yeah, right. You eat the shit out of some testicles.
No, no. Each year they put the festival on, and it started as a little festival, and now it has bands, and it goes for 2 days. They have competitions as to who cooks it the best. It's fried. It's it's interesting, but
So
it
it's
happens.
prepared. It's prepared in different ways other than being fried. I can't imagine it would be tolerable unless it was fried.
You never boiled your balls?
I've never boiled any balls or cooked them.
Apparently
for that
so.
I'm sure you've been close in a bathtub before.
Apparently so. I've never been up there for it, and probably never will go up there for it. But
Why is it in Arkansas? Is this like a delicacy in Arkansas?
I don't know. Hey, I just it started like 5 or 6 years ago, so somebody must have figured something out. I don't know. It's not something I see at the grocery store or anything. Like, hey, here's Rocky Mountain oysters. Do what you want with them.
Is
Going
it
to-
something you
going to
see
the
on
wrong-
menus though? Like if would you ever see it on a menu anywhere?
I have not. I haven't
Okay.
on
So,
a menu.
Interesting.
They have
it's just
oyster
one of those
bar.
things.
They have an oyster bar in Little Rock, but it's actual real oysters from the Gulf of whatever the hell you want to call it these days.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, those are much better kind of oysters than the prairie or the Rocky Mountain, whatever.
yeah,
Dusty is
Prairie.
so uncomfortable. I love this.
I am. I love it.
I love this.
Fucking,
but,
I'd try
you
one.
guys might find that interesting. So
I'd try.
Yeah.
I would try a fried one. I mean, you could fry dog shit. I'd probably figure out a way and put it in ranch and.
All right, now you got me feeling awkward as hell.
Yeah, I'm out, dude. I'm out.
Ranch
British
can
Red-
mask a lot of stuff.
Joe, British Raven wants to know if you'd still eat them if they were Rocco Mountain oysters.
no, probably not.
And
No.
makes it more enticing for him, I bet.
I don't know about that.
There is
Laura, no, I'm not an RN. I'm a bartender.
there
pretty
is
close.
a
Similar.
Professional drink slinger.
Rocco Pepe, first base for the Arkansas Razorbacks this year.
Oh yeah. When is
Yeah.
when did the Arkansas Razorbacks start their season this year?
Valentine's Day.
Nice.
Shit,
Aw.
we only got 2 weeks.
Yeah, man.
Aw.
2 weeks away.
Valentine's Day.
That's so romantic of them.
They
Were
started
were
the first weekend, and then they go to Globe Life and play in a tournament for the second weekend. They do that every year.
Yeah, I think my college starts in. They usually go down to Houston and play at the Astros Stadium for a tournament, and I don't know if they're doing that this year or not.
The only thing that sucks is it's not on TV when they go down to Texas. It's on Flow Sports, and I'm not paying for access to Flow Sports for 3 games every year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I wouldn't do that either if I were you.
yeah.
I might make it down there one year for the tournament. Not
So
have
they won't stream it live like through the athletic department's website or anything like that while they're there.
no, not for that particular tournament. It's only on Flow Sports, so the SEC doesn't even get any of it.
They must have, yeah. They must have a
They have
stronghold.
it's every year they have a contract. I think it's 4 schools. It's 8 schools altogether. They have 4 the first weekend and 4 the second weekend. So we got 15 pitchers coming in, so it should be a decent, healthy pitchers. So it should be, and we're ranked number 5. And
Yeah, Arkansas has been good for a while now in baseball.
They
Nice.
4 of the top 10 teams are SEC teams, and I think 8 of the top 25. So it should be.
Do you have higher expectations for the baseball team than the basketball team?
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
always, dude. Well, I shouldn't say always. Arkansas basketball
I mean,
was good about 3-4 years
Y'all
ago.
are playing Kentucky on what, tomorrow? 2
Saturday.
days? Saturday, right?
Yeah, they're gonna get stomped, but that's okay.
Is that Coach K's first time back in? Or is it in Arkansas? Or
It's in Kentucky.
so
Yeah,
first time back.
They're probably gonna boo the shit out of them, but that's just because that's how Kentucky fans are. They troll.
They wanted him.
Trolled the whole situation.
They wanted him gone for a while, and then the way he left, I think, left him with a bad taste in their mouth too.
Yeah, but I mean, they're winning, and we're losing. So that's their. And Matt Jones goes on his little radio show every day and just bitches about the Razorbacks and how sad they are. It's like, you guys are winning. Just let it go. It's okay.
They'll be fine in Kentucky.
They'll be fine.
They got enough of a basketball history that they'll be good. All right, Joe. Well, do you have anything else for us before we cut you off here?
The O's are fine.
I agree. The O's are fine. There's still plenty of off season left.
And I'm
Yeah,
ready for baseball.
I'm ready for baseball too.
So ready
Brooks,
for baseball.
Brooks, you had a thought there. What was it?
Well, I was gonna say you say there's still a lot of off season left, but I honestly don't think it's the worst thing in the world if we go into the season with what we got either. I still think the O's are fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Plenty of baseball to come. Like I said, the 14th, not only does the Razorbacks start, UCA starts, Pine Bluff starts, Arkansas State starts. So I'll be sitting on the couch watching baseball all weekend.
Oh yeah.
Because all those games will be on ESPN Plus. And Little Rock Trojans out of the Ohio Valley are going to have a really good year this year. They'll probably make the regionals.
Always make it a
The
point to watch
OVC.
college. Always make it a point to watch the College Baseball World Series, especially when the last pitch or last out is made, because that is just pure joy. It's almost like watching the lacrosse. I'm not a big lacrosse guy, but like when the lacrosse championship game happens, the pure joy of those guys running off the sideline is just it is mind numbing, and it's pure euphoria, and it makes me feel good every time, no matter if it's a team I don't like.
Yeah, the only time I didn't like watching the end of the College World Series was 2018, but we won't talk about that.
All right. You brought it up.
You brought it up. All right, Joe. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy the rain. Thank you very much for calling in, and thanks for listening and hanging out with us all the time.
Enjoy the testicles, Joe. Enjoy the
Yeah.
testes. See you, Joe.
All right,
Eat
guys.
them. Eat them balls up.
Come on, dude. Don't send them up that way.
Man.
Got to. Had to.
All right.
I love Joe because you never know what's going to happen next.
Nope.
It is.
Testicle Festival, baby.
Testicle
Oh.
festival. What?
How have we never come up
Man.
with that when it's all like a bunch of dudes in a bar just calling it the Testicle Festival? Like, how have we never come up with that?
Speaking of great festivals, man, I really wish there was a way to somehow bring back pumpkin chunkin at some point.
Oh, for
But
those of you that don't know what pumpkin
never
chunkin
coming
is,
back.
No. For those of you that don't know what pumpkin chunkin is Delaware Dave, our very good friend, used to get a bus. You go to, I want to say it was like
Bridgeville.
Delaware, and it is a farm, and there are a bunch of hillbillies out there who launch frozen pumpkins out of trebuchets, out of these weird catapults they made, which I think a trebuchet is a different version of a catapult. They have air cannons. One was made out of a school bus. It literally had a cannon that like it shot Evel Knievel that shot pumpkins, and it would go like 1,000 yards or something crazy. But unfortunately, it had to get canceled because someone died on an ATV going out to like do a measurement, and, like broke his neck, and then sued the farm.
Yeah, and they tried to do it at the Delaware Speedway one time too, and apparently it sucked. Or they were gonna do it there, and then something fell through with insurance. I forget what it was.
It was a big lawless mess, and then something happened where the law needed to step in, and then it didn't work anymore, and it sucks. But it was fun while it lasted. I unfortunately didn't get to make it to any of those either. But at least they still have Apple Scrapple and some fun festivals like that.
Still got slower, lower.
Oh, yeah.
Still there.
Yeah, guys, this has been another edition of Gary Williams Sold My Lawn Furniture. Thank you guys for hanging out with us a couple times a week. Go check out the Ryan Ripken Show. I think they're live right now as well. I'm not sure if they're still live. They go live around the same time as us too. So
Not
go
till
check
3.
them out. Go check them out later today if they haven't been on today. Thank you again to Pig and Rooster, the Chaucer. Thank you to Miss Kim Posley at Chesapeake Wine Company for being awesome. And Brian's going to send us off here, but he looks like he's got something to say before he does that. So go ahead.
Yeah, I stopped into Kim's establishment the other day, and she had a nice little Ravens fundraiser going on. So got to see a couple Ravens hang out. Had a glass of wine. It looks like she's doing a great job at Chesapeake Wine Company. So please go and see her beautiful establishment inside. And we did that live podcast at one time where I got pied from there. It's killer.
Yeah, if you're from Baltimore, in the Baltimore area, stop by there and say hi to Miss Kim for us. She's the best. That place is sweet too. Know some of our friends have had some holiday parties there as well. So keep that in mind for next time. If you guys have a party coming up, birthday parties, baby showers, whatever.
And Delaware Dave, I guess I have to give a shout out. I don't know the woman's name, but Delaware Dave tells me that when he goes to get his prescriptions from CVS or Walgreens, there's a young lady behind the counter pharmacist who says she listens to our podcast, is beginning to learn sports because of us. Ma'am, whatever your name is, and I can't wait for Delaware to get it from you. Please don't listen to us about sports whatsoever. This is the biggest nonsensical group you could possibly think of.
We have nuggets every now and then that are smart. We're smart sometimes. We should make that our tagline. We're smart sometimes.
We're smart sometimes.
Mostly about baseball, but that's about it.
Yeah, we're baseball nerds.
Other than that, we brought up a couple other things that we had in the pipeline. We'll have Tim Mays on here soon to talk about the off season, how that process went. I'd like to get a little bit more knowledge about how like the physical stuff works for when you sign with a new team. Also, we are going to try, like I said earlier, we're going to try to go down for spring training. Don't know what days. We're trying to sync it up with Ryan Ripken's show's crew. We're just not sure what's going to work with everybody's scheduling. So we will let you know as soon as we know for sure. And hopefully we are going to get some cool content while we are there. Well, I know we are going to get some cool content while we're there. Also, if you weren't around for last podcast, Brian Rogers was our loser in our fantasy football league. So the winners chose that he has to sit through a Orioles game at the ballpark, which will be live streamed by me or somebody else for the entire duration. So you can join in and watch the game and watch Brian suffer through that challenge. And comments, whatever. Maybe we'll have some call-ins too. Maybe we'll have some like specialty shout outs that people can do to like, hey, Dusty has to take a shot to take one hot dog away or something, or Dusty has to eat a hot, I don't know. We'll think about some cool stuff. Maybe we can get some sponsors for that. But yeah, we got some cool stuff coming up, and even more that we can't really talk about yet. So those are the ones that we have more readily in the works. So look out for some announcements on that on social media. And we also have to get our winner of the bracket, the NCAA bracket. If you're watching, Mark, can't remember his last name.
We talked to him on Twitter a bit.
Yeah, I talked to him. That's going to be sent out today. I told him it was going to be this week. Oh, today's not Friday. Today or tomorrow, just depending on my schedule. So,
Joe said he wants to do it in May when he's there. Hey, dude, we can set that up.
Set that up.
Possibly.
Yeah, I got nothing else other than go relish, and thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Send us off, baby.
Oh, I do this. I say it every week, guys. I do this podcast. I have two friends that love me, and I love them very much. And I wouldn't really be in a great mental state if I didn't have them, because I'd probably need therapy myself. Just because dealing with the people around here is fun. But that being said, mental health is something that we do not focus on too much. It is. Luckily, it's beginning to loosen up a little bit. I've actually talked to a couple of people about it the other day that listened to the podcast this past Monday. They talked about how mental health Mental health used to be something they couldn't talk about. Now they talk about it with their friends, not because they listen to our podcast, but they just start feeling more comfortable about it. Think that people are bringing more awareness to it. And we're going to continue to strive to bring as much awareness to it as we possibly can as well. So once again, talk to people, hang out with people, take care of yourself and take care of each other. The people that you love, I mean, they will take care and be there for you. I mean, I know that these guys love me because when I was going through a really tough time, these were the guys that reached out. And so, I appreciate them very much. And if you ever need to talk to somebody, you can reach out to us.
Or you can, if you need additional resources, check out NAMI, NAMI.org. We try to give them a shout out when we remember to.
Yeah.
But they have a plethora. We had one of their, she a psychiatrist for them. What was her actual title? But psychiatrist or psychologist, I'm not sure which one. She came on the show to talk about NAMI a little bit. Miss Amanda. So shout out to her.
Absolutely. It's something that was brought up to me the other day. It's on the mental health topic here, and I don't want to run real long with this. I'm not. They're starting to see an influx of people that were adolescents during COVID that didn't get a chance to have the examples that they use, not me, were like people that didn't get a senior prom or people that didn't get their senior year of college in athletics. Because that's something I remember vividly, even though it's so long ago now. Like, you don't get those things. You don't get those experiences. You had to live in a dorm or you had to live inside your house and play video games and not have social interaction. And now they're finding that some of those people that had to go through that when they weren't fully developed yet, mentally or with a friend group or whatever it may be, are now struggling mentally. And so that was just something that was brought to my attention. I never really thought about it because we were of, for lack of a better term, advanced age outside of grade school and college when COVID hit us.
Yes, sir. And
I think that's a great point, Brian. I think that's not talked about enough, and it's good that you touched on it on this pod.
So,
mental
health. Take care of yourselves.
We're awkward. We like outros.
Yeah, we like outros and we like lingering.
What's
that song by the Cranberries? You guys remember?